Hi everybody, today's focus is a Q&A. You ask me questions and I'm going to give you some answers. So I'm coming to you from my car because I have a crazy week this week and I can barely find a minute to myself to be able to sit in my home and make a good video. But I'm waiting for my son to get out of driver's ed, so I figured while I'm sitting here, I'll record this really quick. A couple of weeks ago, I asked my viewers to comment with any questions that you have that you would like me to answer, and a bunch of you did, so let's get right into it and answer some of those questions. Lucas asks, do you have any degree? If so, what is it? Yes, Lucas, I do have a degree. All right, I'll give you my education history here. So I graduated high school valedictorian, and then I spent 2 years at Worcester Polytechnic Institute, so WPI, where I was majoring in biology. It got a little bit expensive for me, so I ended up by transferring to Regis College, where I received my bachelor's degree in biology, and I minored in English literature. From there, I went to Boston University, where I received my master's degree in biology with a specialization in neurobiology. Lucas also asks, do you own a microscope? Would be nice to see some videos analyzing bacteria on the microscope. Lucas, I do have a microscope, and I'll put a picture of it here. I purchased this microscope a couple of years ago. I homeschool my children, and when my oldest son was taking biology, I wanted to make sure he knew how to use a microscope, and I wanted to do some microscopic experiments with him. So I did purchase it then. I like this microscope because it did come with a camera. So I can actually put a camera lens on one of the eyepieces and hook it up to my computer, and I can screenshot or record what I see in my microscope. So hopefully in the summer, once my house is finished, some of you might follow my personal life, some of you might not. We're building a home. We have until June 1st to finish. I am mudding every night till like 1:30 in the morning. It's a ton of work, but once it's done, I should have some more free time. And I would like to do some microscope videos. Lucas also asks, do you have any links to buy Petri dishes? So, yes and no. The place that I purchase my Petri dishes from normally doesn't purchase to individual people. I have to purchase them in bulk. So I actually have a refrigerator in my husband's workshop where I keep my Petri dishes. No lie. I buy them in bulk because sometimes I do a test multiple iterations before I make a video for it, or I'll do things in duplicate or triplicate. So I go through a lot more Petri dishes than you guys actually see. Acoustic Soul asked, could you try to make videos about not only testing products, but also different methods of disinfection and trying out popular hacks and tricks to test their real effectiveness? This is fantastic. I think this is a great question. So I'm not certain what exactly you mean by methods of disinfection or what you're thinking of. Are you thinking like spray versus wipe, or what sort of methods? Put them in the comments. I'll get to it, okay? And also popular hacks and tricks. Okay, I love this idea, because I have people send me on Instagram these reels of these people doing these cleaning hacks, but I want to know what you want to see. So if there is a cleaning hack or a cleaning trick that you would like me to test out, you can either put in the comments, you can email it to me if you want. My email address is in the description of every video, and I'll make a list of different cleaning hacks and tricks and stuff like that to make a video for. I think that would be really fun. That's a great idea. Beth asks, I was wondering what your work background is and how long you've been testing products. Okay, I'm here. I just have to drive. I know this is really bad. I set up my camera on my passenger seat, but I have to drive because I got to pick up my son. I'm sorry if it's noisy. The windshield wiper's on. Okay, so my work background. So fun fact about me, when I was in high school, I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. That was really fun. And then while I was in college and graduate school, I worked at a pharmaceutical company where I worked in the inflammation division, where I would create cell lines for scientists to do their inflammation research. I also worked in a diagnostic lab where I tested for Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases. After graduate school, whoops, sorry you fell, but you can hear me. Sorry. So after graduate school, I got a job doing HIV genotyping. I thought that was fantastic. I absolutely loved that work. I was hard work because I was always working with HIV positive blood, but I was good. I got trained well and I knew what I was doing. So that was fantastic. So that was when I was living in Massachusetts. I was absolutely sick and tired of the cold winter, like in Massachusetts. So I I ended up by saying, I'm going to move to Miami. So I moved to Miami with my now husband. So I worked at a really cool company. It was a tissue bank. And what we did was take donated placental tissues from cesarean sections and basically processed the amniotic membrane off of the placenta so that it could be sold to ophthalmologists to be sutured on the eye to treat ocular surface disorders. That was a really cool job. They also had a research division, so I was able to work in that part also. So, I should say, I was a supervisor of technical operations, quality assurance, and quality control while I was there. And I also got to work in the research division, which was super cool, and helped them design like a contact lens product for applying the amniotic membrane to a patient's eye without needing to suture it. Then my husband and I decided to move back to New England, and by this time I was pregnant with my oldest son. So I took a temporary position at a vaccine company that manufactured the smallpox vaccine. And I worked a lot with the regulatory affairs and quality assurance departments there. Now after I had my son, my husband and I were trying to decide, who was going to stay home, or was I going to stay home? Where were we going to do daycare? What were we going to do? And we decided that we felt it was important for me to spend the first 2 years at home with him and then put him in a daycare, preschool setting. So I decided to stay at home. So I became a stay-at-home mom. And then, but by the time he was 2, why are there so many cars here? Don't you hate it when you get somewhere and there's like no parking? Anyway, and I'm driving my big SUV today. Anyway, so driving with Linda today. Anyway, so I decided to become, I'll go here. So I decided to become a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 more kids, so they're all spaced 2 years apart. So right now they're 17, 15, and 13. So I did give up my career in biotech to become a stay-at-home mom. Then once my kids were of school age, I chose to homeschool them. So I am homeschooling my kids now, and once they get through high school, I'll rejoin the workforce. I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to do yet, but I'll find something in the pharmaceutical biotech world. And your second question was, how long have I been testing products? So I'm going to have to look back when I get home and figure out when my first one was. I want to say it was like October 2021, but I really think by maybe November 2021, I was doing weekly videos. Beth also asked, I would like to know what your cleaning routine is, what products you use, and how often. She said this may be too personal. Okay, here we go. Ready? I am really bad with cleaning routines. I'm super bad with it. I have spent a little bit of time looking up the Fly Lady and Clean Mama. I'll put like pictures of it here so you can see those. When I move into my new home, which should be in June, okay, fingers crossed, everybody. I am mudding every night till like 1:30 in the morning. But once I'm in that new home, I really want to get a cleaning routine going. I will tell you, I'll be very honest with you, different seasons of my life, I did different things. When the kids were babies and toddlers, it was literally clean when I could. No lie. There were plenty of days where there were crumbs on the floor and I was like, oh well, can't get to it. I got a 4, 2, and newborn. Like, this isn't going to happen. And then there are seasons when I have more time to clean. And every night I'd be able to sweep, vacuum, mop the floor. Now with building the house, I'm back to having not a lot of free time. So my house is getting messier and messier, which I cannot stand. Oh my God, that car's engine is so heavy. Big truck next to me. Anyway, sorry, this is kind of a weird video. It's way different than my other ones. So as for cleaning products, before the YouTube channel, I primarily use my Shock Navigator vacuum cleaner. I would use a Swiffer, but I would put microfiber cloths on it, and I would use, honestly, whatever cleaner was on sale. I really would. I use Clark's wipes pretty much all the time. And I liked always using that Purell spray that I did a video on here. That's something that I would always use when someone in my home was sick. So probably not what you want to hear. Right now, in this season of my life, I just use whatever products I have. And I clean when I have the time. So I do hope to get into a better routine soon. Beth also asked, do you use up the products you've tested even if they don't do a good job? That's a great question. I use every single product that I test because I purchased it. I spent money on these, and I'm not just going to let them sit in my cabinet or right now a storage bin in my kitchen because I have a lot of them. But there is one product I don't use, and that is Fabuloso. I hate the smell of Fabuloso. I cannot get myself to use that. So I should probably put it on one of those Facebook, those groups that like giveaway groups, like a free, I think they used to be called freebie. I can't think of what it's called. Free cycle, something like that, where you could just like give things to people so you don't have, not selling, but just giving. I should see, or if any of my local friends are on here and you want it, it's yours. That is the only product that I have not used again. Everything else I do use up the best that I can. Girlfriend asks, how long does it take for you to accumulate all the bacteria, germs, and the surfaces which you use for the bee swab examples? Honestly, what I do is I let those surfaces in my home get really dirty. So the kitchen counter, the kitchen sink drain, the bathroom sink, and the toilet rim, I allow those to get dirty. I mean, I will go 4 to 7 days, maybe, at a time in between doing different testing. Yeah, because I want to make sure that we have a lot of bacteria on there to really test these cleaners. And question 2 from Girlfriend is, have you found one product or formula that rids toilet lid underside of all dirt and bacteria as well as sanitizes all at the same time? I think the one that I would say would probably be, I'd have to relook at my Petri dish pictures, but I want to say the 7th generation wipes. Because those are really good. They're really thick, strong wipes, and they were able to wipe like dirt and grime away really well, and they did really well in the bacteria portion of the testing. So I'll look back though, and if there's another one that I want to put in, I'll put a montage here of that. But I think I'm going to stick with the 7th generation disinfecting wipes. And I got a question from my Patreon member, Vivian. Vivian asks, I know you're practical in using up extras from your experiments. She knows me well. But if you had no budget, what would your dream cleaner lineup be? Woo! This is interesting. It would probably be filled with robotic cleaners, like for real, like more Roombas, different types of robotic cleaners. I'd like to try the Shark one, or mopping systems, things like that. I think I would love. Okay, here comes my son. He is coming back from driver's ed, so I'm gonna have to stop this here, and I can put a montage in of all the different, I'm waving to him, all the different cleaners that, or all the different cleaning systems that I would, oops, hold on, the door is locked. Sorry, it's locked. It's raining. I know, I'm sorry, it's raining too. So I'll do a quick montage of all the different systems and cleaners that I think I would like to purchase if budget was not an issue. And I had an email question from Paige. Paige asked, how much do you make on YouTube? And she did say, if it's too personal of a question, don't answer. But I don't mind answering this question. I make roughly $5 a day. That's what I make, about $5 a day. I'll put up here a screenshot of how much I've made since August 2022, because that is when I became monetized, so you can see. But when you average it all out, it's roughly about $5 a day, $3 a day in the very beginning, and I think now when you average out April, it's like $5.70. I do hope to increase that, because right now it basically just covers my bulk Petri dishes and some cleaners. It would be really great to be able to cover every cleaning item that I want to test, as well as having a little extra cash in my pocket. And Paige also asked, do you actually have a viewer suggestion list? Yes, I do. I have a notebook where I handwrite in every single suggestion. I'll put a picture of it over here so you can see it. And then I type it into Google Sheets. I like Google Sheets because I can sort it. So I can sort it and see how many people want a particular product to be tested. And if I have a lot of people that want something like that Mrs. Myers, I bump it up my list. But yes, I do have an actual viewer suggestion list, and I handwrite everybody's suggestions and convert it into a Google Sheets. So thank you so much for asking me these questions. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed doing this. As always, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section, or you can always email me. My email address is in the description of all of my videos. Thank you so much for these questions. I had a great time answering them. Take care. Have yourselves a great day.